I knew when we first started Curated, when I first had the idea, I wanted to create something that was bigger than me. I knew that I had gone through a ton of failures and disasters in my life, and I wanted to create something that was everlasting, sort of like a symbol, a brand. And I always felt that, you know, one day, 30, 40 years from now, nobody was gonna actually care about me. People cared about the cars, they cared about a brand. And the only way for me to create a team, a dream team, and this was when I was we had maybe one or two people that worked for Curated, was to make something that was bigger than me, and make something bigger than myself, more important than myself. And that was the only way we were gonna create something special. And today, it's really a wild week. We've got 2 Diablos incoming, 2 very, very, really special cars. And at the same time, we have 2 Diablos leaving. We have this actual SE30, the last SE30 US car produced, a one-owner car that we've been working on for the past 7-8 months. Final test drive now, and then the dark blue Diablo VT Coupe. Those are both leaving, and it's this reminder this week of all of the work that has to happen, that goes into this process. And you know, when I was in Italy, I was talking about it, and maybe I was over dramatic. People thought I was maybe a little depressed, or people thought I was down. But man, it has been a long road to get here. It's been 9 years of a lot of hard work, a lot of sleepless nights, tears along the way, and I am talking a fucking hustle, excuse my language, but it was not easy. But I feel for the first time we're at this really special moment. From today till about 9 years ago, we have sold 448 cars, which is completely surreal. I would have never imagined that when we first started this journey. Would have never imagined. And this car has a little vibration actually that I don't like. These need to be balanced much better. There's a little rattle. I think it's actually from the speaker panel, so we've got to check that as well. But I would have never imagined 9 years ago that we would have sold 448 cars, and this week I think the blue Diablo VT will be car 449 and 450 cars. So completely surreal and special moment. And that all goes back to the concept of creating something bigger than myself. I'm not the most talented guy. I have maybe a few super strengths, but I knew from day one we had to build something that was bigger than a human, a brand, a symbol, and I think we are on to something really special with 450 cars sold. We've built a magical team of passionate people, and let's see where the future holds. This is a massive departure from where I felt when we were in Italy. We had a ton of great Diablos, hopefully joining us soon, and still delivering magnificent Diablos today. This is the first time I've ever seen this car. It's been sitting for a very long time. An original owner, Diablo SE30, and there's some really interesting facts that we discovered about this car. This is a 1994 Diablo SE30. It's one of the original 25 US cars. This is an original owner car that was never shown, never seen. The biggest thing that we're dealing now, and you guys can sort of see, is that this is a car that's been sitting for a long time. Definitely the clutch master cylinder is bad. So if you start the car, and obviously if a clutch master cylinder or a clutch slave cylinder is going bad, the car can jerk forward or back. So we're pushing it out, but at the same time, because the car has been sitting, the handbrake actually took a fail on us. And then the biggest problem is you're dealing with one of the widest cars ever made. So on each side, maybe a ½ inch on each side clearance in this trailer. And this was a specific trailer we had to use because it had a winch, and it was in this area where this auction was. So this is an interesting car because this was a one-owner car. I knew it existed on factory records, but it was never really shown or advertised. And Steven actually sent us a link for it, a state auction for a gentleman that had passed away. I believe he was a coal miner. Now the car had been sitting, so you have to be scared anytime a car is sitting, and the bids were almost nothing. They were like 100,000, 150,000 at first. Ed Bullion got in on the action. He said, maybe I'm gonna get an SE30 cheap, but unfortunately, there was a ton of other bidders. There was another dealer bidding against us as well, and the car shot up to almost like $700,000 with fees. Now, we didn't pay that without doing a major inspection. This is an aftermarket exhaust. That was a period Borla exhaust. That needs to go. The interior is beautiful condition. There's no pulling on the dash. The radio's original, and you could just see this car was loved. There's some cracking here on the front bumper. This happened while loading, and we're gonna have that fixed perfectly. It's just part of, you know, moving cars around, especially an inoperable car at the time. The light tint on the windows, bubbling in the paint here. So 26,000 kilometers. The headliner's pretty nice. The seats are nice. And then let's see. And then look at this. This is an original, not a copy, original window sticker for this car. So wow, that is cool to see. SE30, number 44, 30 for the SE30, purple, black, 255,000 with destination charge 256,200. That is cool. Cheers to the guys at Prestige Imports. Test of this stunning 1995 Lamborghini Diablo VT. Really low mileage car, 1,800 miles. We went back into the factory records, 104 in this color. Blue metallizato. We had to do a major service to this car, a bunch of different things. So far this test drive is going perfect. Everything seems to be working great. Temp's good. Sounds great too. That is not a stock exhaust. Hero. These floor mats, these are not correct. Those details bother me. The radio's not correct. We'll probably leave it. And it has its original radio. So that's perfect. Beautiful.
On the Gold Wing, he says 1 million for non-restored, up to 1.5 million for restored.
Okay.
Always looking for them, but you know.
Okay.
So yeah, things are in motion.
This is your car, right?
So this is a car. Yes, it is. This is a car that I chased for probably 3 or 4 years. Never thought I'd buy an SE30. It was always my dream car, and I somehow ended up with a Yoda. I think I've told the story of how I sold the Yoda for another SE30.
I literally just watched it this morning on VinWiki.
Okay, so there you go. That car had like 8,000 or 9,000 miles. European car, identical to this. Then this car popped up. And this car is 4,400 kilometers, so that would be 2,700 miles. You know, I was driving my car a lot. I put a good amount of miles on it, and when this car came up, it was like, okay, if I'm if I'm always telling people, you know, to invest their money in Diablos, why not put my money where my mouth is and reinvest my own personal money back into another SE30? So I sold my car. I put some more money down to my bank for this car. I purchased it from the original owner. It has some service, and that's probably the last run of the 235. That's 2017. So these tires are still good. And I am going to do an exhaust on this car. I think they sound so much better with an exhaust, and I'm gonna go drive the wheels off of it. But imagine, I have not driven it yet.
How long have you had it?
I've had it probably close to a year, but I don't feel it's right to move our clients' cars back in service, and I need to get it in the service. So right now it's sitting here for the time being. This was a Christmas gift to myself, even though Keith Collins only produced mats for US Diablos. Keith Collins, I've talked about him on our channel before. He's basically an artisan floor mat maker. He also does tapestries and whatnot. He was known for making these really cool sheepskin mats for Diablos. The first SE30 I had ever gotten a ride in had these mats, and I had him do a custom set for myself. A little ode to my childhood, the young boy that dreamed of owning a car like this one day. So hopefully I will be able to drive it soon.
When are we going to do the test drive?
As soon as Chris is done. It's your plan. You have to give the final.
So I spoke to him yesterday.
Thursday.
I told him between today and tomorrow.
Yeah, to be done.
He just wants to know your feedback. He says it's the only car he hasn't driven before buying it.
Okay.
But that he trusts you.
That's
Awesome.
good.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, they're off now?
Yeah. Silver Diablo GT. We've torn it down to do basically concourse prep now. You name it, we're doing it.
Is this car going to Pebble?
This car will go to Pebble, yeah. This car will be at the Quail. Brakes, some minor service things, the horns. Ray's working on it now. Oh, Ray, you know what? We're gonna change the exhaust cover as well. We're gonna put one of the new ones.
Okay.
It feels new. Feel it. New car. No, feel it. It's insane. I love how they protected the garden. Oh my God, look at that. You don't touch it.
Look at that. You think it got delivered with 1,000 miles? It doesn't even look like it's just driven.
I mean, this is probably the nicest condition Diablo I've ever seen, honestly. Look at this here. That is one of one. Look at the seat bolts even here. One of one color. It's the only Rosso Diablo SE30 produced with Sabia Alcantara interior. One owner, about 1,000 miles, original paint. It smells new, it feels new. This car is insane. Even the paint on the front bumper, you can still see the weave. And SE30s are known for picking up rock chips just because the rake of the front bumper. This car is absolutely insanity. All right, let's go for a final drive in this. Wow. I don't know, the AC does not feel as good as it should. All of a sudden, this got pretty hot in here. So I'm actually just making a list of everything that I see that this car needs. A very, very original car that needed a major service. It needed a long list of things. And we're finally dialing this in for the new owner. He recently just bought it. We spent about 6-7 months perfecting this car. The speaker covers are known for falling off on SE30s. We need to do that. Now I've got a check engine light on the right bank. The AC needs a servicing, and we are just in the worst traffic imaginable right now. This is annoying. And I have the door open because it is starting to get brutally hot in this car. Yep, shift knob is loose, and the 2 bolts there need to be detailed. And this is a cool car because this car was actually delivered new to Prestige Imports, and it was used for the Miami Auto Show. I think it was October of 1994, so the last USA car ever delivered as an SE30. It went to West Virginia, of all places, and it was with its original owner until last year when it came up for auction. We bought it at auction and was just really amazed at how original it was. It was dirty underneath, and you know, it really needed a lot of love. I would say just cosmetic love. It needed a major service. It needed fresh tires. It needed all these things. But it was a very complete car with the original window sticker, and a lot of really cool details. So just really special piece, and excited for it to join its next home. I am melting in this car. Whoever got me to test drive this thing without the AC being fully serviced, I am gonna be pissed. Nope, this car needs to go back in. Almost there, but a long list of items that need to be corrected before she gets delivered. I am not gonna sign off on this yet. It's not always as easy as it looks. We make it look very easy, and in the middle of all this stuff, I've been negotiating frantically over a very large deal to actually partner with a major auction house on a very exciting event that'll be coming to Miami, potentially one of the world's largest events. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been very frustrating and very stressful. And stressful because the reward is so huge, but at the same time the risk is very large as well. So we'll see. Exciting May here at Curated.